Welcome, friends. I am the Observer, and there's something I wish to show you. Gather around the orb, and I will share a story unfolding as we speak. Our tale takes place in a tavern on the outskirts of a windswept town of Penton.
Pretty weird shit back in college. I even tried Moonless once.
A scraggly wizard sits at the bar beside a druid. Her decadent ginger hair rests upon the tabletop as she looks at the old man in amusement.
All I'm saying is, he's simply no good for you. He's an angry, violent god. Is this just some kind of marriage any percent speedrun? Deities can be fickle. Now, I must go, but should you ever need advice, don't be a stranger. Oh dear, apologies, my ironclad friend.
Worry not, small wizard.
But while I have your attention, I would like to show you something. All right, just swap drinks with me, just real quickly.
Your empty mug. For my full one.
Trust me here, this is a really good trick.
You may.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
I am not certain of what just happened.
A barbarian chimes in from the table of adventurers, candlelight flickering across his horned helmet. He's noticeably more muscular than the other members, towering over each of them in the middle seat, yet hunkered down like a small child.
Looks like you just got fooled by an old man. Maybe you're getting on in age for a warrior.
The barbarian smirks at the long-haired warrior, who does not receive it in kind. The druid from the bar takes a seat at the table, shrugging.
Now that I think about it, marrying the god of gaslighting might not be a great idea.
It's never friends of confirmable sanity that you take lessons from, is it?
Good old torn buzzkill.
It is Bladeskill. You know this, Theodore.
Here he goes with the dagger in the table bit again.
The Bladeskill family has slayed countless monsters across centuries, dating back to times before your lineage existed. We are heroes in our own right, and will be treated with respect as such.
You're so predictable.
May I simply inform you of the quest our group has been given?
Yeah, but let's make it quick. I gotta go start a smug lineage.
Torn, exasperated, spreads a map across the table. An issue of Goblin Gals Gone Wild force him. Embarrassed, Torn picks it up and stows it in his pouch.
We are here to find the alchemist, located in the harbor of Penton. My informant tells me that he can help us travel across the deadly Sea of Judas to eliminate a scourge that threatens their lands. Although not much is known personally of what we may face, as few have lived to tell what they saw, our friend the alchemist is considered familiar with the situation. Friends, I will warn you. The troubles will be many, and the trials will be great, but the reward shall be plenty.
Torn peers hopefully at his two longtime friends, light glinting from his canary yellow eyes.
Honestly, I'm too broke to turn this down. I spent all my money on tour with an indie bard last summer and still haven't recovered financially. Called themselves the In Front of Behinds. Never really got the reference.
The two look to the druid, who awkwardly stares back between the two. This always happened to her, but the trio stuck together through everything, even if that meant bad ideas such as this one.
So, Vine-Essa?
The two of you would probably end up dying 100 times over if I didn't come, but I'm only going with the stipulation that I get to bring my new cat. I can't handle the constant presence of two idiots on a boat in the middle of the ocean. Not without her, at least.
I'd be insulted if you didn't. So, when can we go find the guy? I'm ready now. I'm trying to live a more minimalist lifestyle, so everything I own is literally on me right now.
I shall leave the address for you two to prepare. We'll meet outside the alchemist's home at dawn tomorrow. Have your things ready. I've been told that he is not one to turn down adventure.
Oh, forgot the keys to my carriage. It's nothing special. It's like the equivalent of a Honda Prelude that has to attend AA 3 times a week. But it gets me from point A to point B, you know? I will never understand why this tavern has a sliding glass door. Jesus Christ. I hope you understand I'm not paying for this. I'm not doing it. Look, I'll even repair it. I'm not... Look at that. See that? That's real magic. Actual magic.
And so,
Oh, I've been talking too long. I'm being cut off by the narrator.
the group exits the tavern and splits different ways. Torn to his manor, Vine-Essa to her lounge, and Teddy to the dumpster outside that night after a roaring blackout. Wide stretches and exasperated yawns meet Teddy and Vine-Essa at the front gate of the Alchemist's Tower. Torn comes into view, pulling far too much luggage behind him.
I have come prepared with the necessary tools to slay the demon tides.
Teddy and Vine-Essa look at one another in amusement. Torn places his hands on his hips in a standard heroic pose. He gestures towards the front door.
Shall we then, my companions?
Freshly dewed greens stretch across the ornate and unusually tall structure that complements the edge of Penton's harbor. Sigils and signs of all varieties decorate its entirety, some of which Vine-Essa herself cannot even understand.
Well, I guess I'll do the honors.
The door did not open. Instead, it began to fade away. Once gone, the party slowly enters. Strangely enough, they seem to be descending a long stairway once inside. All eyes stare in awe as they look to the windows on their descent. Looking outside, it appears as if they're going up the tower while simultaneously walking down its steps.
This is spatial magic. Torn, Teddy, we may be dealing with a being far beyond our comprehension. Whatever we see in there, please be careful.
Of course, Vine-Essa.
Hey, don't worry. We got it.
At last, they reach the bottom, or top, depending on if you're inside or outside. Coming into view first in the center of a circular room is a gargantuan pot, bubbling a vapor from the stem placed over it. Vials and powders surround this display, with artifacts of mystery decorating the walls of the room. Suddenly, and jarringly loud from behind it, a voice sings out as a figure rises.
Oh, I fucking love alchemy!
The blue-robed figure exhales a tremendous amount of the vapor, and then promptly melts to the ground. Sliding like a weird snake across the floor, the figure slithers up to them. It's the sorcerer from the tavern. His sunken eyes slowly slide from person to person.
Oh, alchemy. I love alchemy so much. Oh.
The sorcerer reaches out a hand, as if to introduce himself from the floor.
Oh, Alabaster Clementine, governing alchemist of Penton, doer of spells and inventor of the sitting poop. No one really knows if I'm a sorcerer or a wizard. It might intrigue you to know it's actually neither.
Teddy smirks, reaching out to take Clementine's hand, which, strangely enough, felt like a liquid.
Theodore Baron, destroyer of things, ruiner of scalps.
Suddenly, Clementine is at his feet, shaking Teddy's hand with both his own.
The wild magic Viking, Theodore Baron? I love your work. You really leave no scalp to the imagination. They say you even take the whole top of the skull in one stroke sometimes. Just one and done, like a big old crackhead.
Torn rolls his eyes, but Teddy blushes from ear to ear, not expecting to be recognized in such a manner.
That is me! I'm so glad someone appreciates my work. Some say it's too much, but you know what they also say? You can't put a cap on scalping! Yeah!
May I call you Teddy?
Something in me is telling me that you're gonna call me Teddy whether I want you to or not.
Oh, look at that. You're smart, too.
Quickly snapping to Vine-Essa, startling her, Clementine begins violently shaking her hand.
And you are the druid from the tavern, Vine-Essa. I've already heard of your separation from your would-be husband. Word spreads quickly. But, you know, he is the god of gaslighting, so I really feel like you kind of dodged an arrow there.
Vine-Essa gives her usual shrug.
When you serve a goddess, you meet gods. They can be messy. I was married to the goddess of corn for a while, and I was never really sure why they needed a god for that, but she was a little big-headed about it.
Oh, I have a daughter with a crow god. Real piece of shit. Got caught spending shrine offerings on moon mist. You ever seen a strung-out crow god? It's not pretty.
Clementine finally looks to Torn, whom he seems to entirely have missed being there.
Are you the hooligan who absconded with my beverage back at the tavern?
Oh, yes, just sorry about that. I hope you did not drink out of that tankard after me, though. I have some things going on I'm not bold enough to talk about, health-wise. But, anyways, sorry, I'm terrible at introducing myself to the sidekicks. Who are you now?
Why, I'm Torn Bladeskill, of the Bladeskill lineage, of course.
Clementine holds his hands up at his midsection, looking around.
I don't... Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Torn is taken aback, as Clementine recognized the exploits of the others and not his own accomplishments.
I assume you have heard of the slaying of Argos, the World Breaker?
Ah, yes, I am familiar. Who was that fellow that killed him? I cannot remember his name.
Alphonse Bladeskill was the slayer of that beast.
No. What was that fellow's name? Just something Buzzkill? No. Perhaps I'll remember one day.
Torn appears as if he's about to legitimately combust at any moment, before realizing he should keep his cool around the only person that could get him safely across the Sea of Judas, always thinking of the quest at hand. Meanwhile, Teddy was trying not to burst his own guts in laughter. In a very sudden manner, Clementine solidified, fear filling his sapphire eyes.
Okay. All right. No one move.
Teddy's eyes dart over to Clementine, his body frozen in place.
What's wrong?
It would appear that a dragonfly has been let in.
You're kidding, right? A little dragonfly scares the mighty alchemist?
Teddy, you do not understand. Not a dragonfly, but a dragonfly. Dragon is a modifier to the fly.
Clementine turns the group around to see a fly encompassing the entire wall opposite them.
in the Six Kingdoms did that get in here?
When you leave a door or a window open, they can just kind of, get in. Are you not familiar with the common housefly and its variants? I don't understand what's happening here.
I really do not have the time to unpack the absurdity of that statement in relation to this specific fly.
And by the way, how did we not see this on the way in?
You'd think we would have seen it before now.
I'm pretty sure I did a whole twirl when I came in here. A whole 360.
Guys, really, we don't have to do this.
Pretty sure I looked at that wall earlier and it wasn't there.
Just stop picking holes in this. The narrator has already called me 2 different things when I'm more of a homebrew. It's not important. Okay, listen, now, if I approach it slowly, I may be able to give it the business.
Clementine removes his shoe, slowly inching towards the beast.
Clementine, please. I don't think that's gonna be enough.
Oh, trust me, Teddy. I am 409 years old. I know the arts well.
Clementine slides closer to the beast, now standing directly in front of it. He arches his shoe back and swings, letting out a mighty yell.
Oh! Oh! It caught the shoe! It caught the shoe! It broke my arm!
Guys, we gotta help him.
Agreed, old friend.
At this point, the fight became so hectic that the room is filled with a cloud of smoke.
Is that a fucking chainsaw?
With Vine-Essa looking around wildly in shock, Torn falls from the cloud in front of her, pleading.
Vine-Essa, he has a gun. Please.
Torn, I don't know what a gun is.
Large black arms erupt from the smoke, grabbing Torn by the legs and pulling him inside once more.
Vine-Essa, please.
Well, I suppose it's a handy thing that I had that hand grenade.
The party now stands outside around the carcass of the dragonfly, or at least what is left of it. Torn can be seen, crouching in a corner, shaking.
This world is filled with sickness.
Without even having time to breathe, a gust of wind tears at the party. A fly of similar size lowers itself to the body of the deceased. Time seems to stand still for everyone, as they look on in amazement and fear. Tears began to swell up in its eyes, as if in realization that it would never speak to its friend again. Never again to laugh as they ate trash behind a pent inn. A giant tear falls, meeting scorched wings. Choking back tears, it pulls the deceased closer in a warm embrace. Buzzing its wings, it begins to take off with the body in hand. One final flight, for after today, its friend would be flying with angels.
Okay, that was the saddest shit I've ever seen.
We're the monsters.
I have a feeling that's going to be a villain arc in episode 3 or 4.
Torn could still be found crouched in a panicked state.
They're everywhere. The sky is their house.
Yeah, it is, buddy. Yeah, it is.
I suppose we should go get the supplies we need for the adventure.
Fruit for sale. Fruit for sale. My children, they are so hungry. Fruit for sale. Oh my God, how they hunger. Fruit for sale.
Clementine and the party have convened in the market district in the town of Penton to gather a few of the alchemist's necessary traveling supplies.
Fruit for sale. My children, they are weak. Fruit for sale.
Okay, alright. Now that we've all emotionally recovered, we have some supplies to gather. We need to grab potions, then a quick stop at Fantastic Jeans and where to find them. But first, I have a meeting in an alleyway nearby for other supplies, we shall say.
I do not like the sound of this, old man.
Well, Torn, you're the one following me, so if no one has told you, it's just welcome to the puppet show. It's just follow along.
They have to eat off the floor. Fruit for sale.
But rest easy, friend. This is almost certainly, potentially, maybe a reliable person. He even reached out to me directly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that guy's a cop.
They share a bed with the livestock. Fruit for sale.
I really wish you guys would have a little faith in me. I mean, have I led you astray once yet?
The rest of the party makes eye contact, but say nothing in response.
The toddler watches the baby while I am at work. Fruit for sale.
Rest assured, guys, after this pit stop, this quick trip, this little come and go, this road runner of a stop, this detour, the old in and out, quick like a jack-in-the-box, we'll be right to it.
This is a concerning level of marketing.
They have to choose between drinking and bathing. Fruit for sale.
Will you just feed them the fruit? Feed them the fruit.
They do not like fruit, and they only eat what they like. Fruit for sale.
Okay, alright, okay. Yeah, we're going, okay.
And with that, Clementine ushers the group away from his newfound enemy.
Okay, so that vendor was a real dickhead.
Dude's kids were hungry, Clementine.
They could have eaten the fruit.
Seems they don't like fruit.
They only eat what they like. I respect that.
Oh, motherfucker.
What in the terms of service abiding fuck was that?
Oh dear. Oh,
What is happening right now?
Oh, I seem to have come down with a brutal case of censoring sickness. Oh, I knew I was getting ill. I should have been more careful. Does anyone have an antihistamine? This fucking sucks. Oh, wait! In the alleyway there. I think that's the guy.
Clementine puts on a flat bill hat and leans against the wall opposite the rogue.
You got the shit, homie?
I have waited so long.
I really don't think our timing was that bad. Was it that bad?
Finally, Clementine, I have you. After years of searching and chasing, you're within my grasp.
Getting some real Dahmer vibes here.
I'm pretty sure we didn't have very bad timing. Pretty punctual.
The reliable person casts away their cloak, revealing a heavily scorched face beneath.
Does something seem familiar now?
Well, that looks like it really f***ing hurt.
You are nothing but a symbol of mankind's folly, Clementine. Your waste uncleaned, trash left to its own devices.
This guy has an entire villain speech. Respect.
Okay, you guys really aren't helping right now.
An immeasurable mountain of sin compressed into one man.
Honestly, some of the best writing I've ever heard.
Space and time begin to shift around, reality becoming nothing but spirals of color, causing the members of the party to float and lose sense of space.
I have crossed oceans, trekked deserts, passed through astral planes, all for this moment.
Teddy scratches his chin in deep thought.
How late were we that he came up with this many descriptors?
And here I find you, wasting your time on adventure with those beneath us.
Oh, that's not fair.
You don't even know us.
I think we're all right. I like to think we're punctual, too.
Hey, Teddy, man. You were on time to my nephew's birthday party, right? We all remember that. Bakuna Hatata, or, whatever.
Hey, guys, not to interrupt your whole thing here, but, there's a villain kind of giving a speech right now.
Which brings me to another question, Clementine. What would Teresa think? You abandoned us for what, this?
Clementine stared at the ground, his right eye twitching at the sound of that name. Teresa. Raising his head to meet the gaze of his accuser, Clementine's eyes narrowed.
It would have been so easy to hold your tongue. You are, to put it plainly, out of your depth.
Reality begins to shift once more, with spirals of color melting away, coalescing around them all into deep navy ocean. Fear seems to envelop the reliable person's face as they lose control of their own reality to a higher being.
It is very unfortunate that you do not know your own place.
You waste yourself on heroes.
Stop breathing. I apologize. I shouldn't have let you breathe down here, let alone speak. But don't worry, you won't die. You're not even inhaling the water. But you will listen to me.
They begin to panic and thrash about in the water.
You see, the thing about you tadpole villains...
As an extraordinarily large shadow begins to circle around, the party themselves remain frozen in awe.
You always try to swim with bigger fish. But you know nothing of our hunger.
And now from below, a barracuda of frightening proportions charges up with jaws outstretched, hundreds of teeth, anxious to feed. The reliable person seems to fall, losing consciousness before the fish reaches them. The barracuda fades away, as does the ocean around the party. Teddy leans down and touches the grass to be sure everything is in fact real now. The once reliable person now lay on the ground in front of them, unconscious.
Oh, man, nothing like a little illusion magic to, to scare them out of their socks.
That was certainly,
Interesting. I've never seen spells of this caliber. He dispatched the villain with such ease.
I'll be honest with you, I have no idea who this was. Everybody's got a f***ing villain, right? Now, if you guys want to step around the corner so that I can loot this man, because I'm sure he's dropping more than common loot, be much appreciated. Just gonna kneel on down here out of sight and... You know who I am. No one that knows my true voice should ever have followed me. You should never have followed me. If I see you again, if I hear you utter that name, if you hurt these people, I will scatter your ashes into space like stardust. All right, anyways, sorry about that. Where were we, guys? Oh, Teddy, right behind you.
Teddy takes a step back and accidentally steps on a cat's tail. The most unforgivable of crimes in Penton, accidental or otherwise.
Oh, the cat has a gun.
Vine-Essa, do you find it necessary to assist?
Nah, he's fine.
I fucking hate cats!
Oh, hey, look, it's the little cat policeman.
Is it really so difficult to just have a normal adventure? You know when you ask someone to meet the bar and it just gets lower? This is that.
Well, Teddy, looks like we're going to jail.
Fuck.
And that finishes Clementine 1. You all meet in a tavern. This episode was a lot different, but if you've picked up on anything from the earlier episodes, you're starting to catch on. You may know the who now, but the why is still to come. And a little earlier for Patreon members, but we'll get to that. Clementine was written, sound designed, directed, and whatnot by me, Landon Lemon Whisnant, and I also voiced the character Clementine. Our wonderful cast is comprised of Christian Staton as the Observer, Bill Symons as Torn Bladeskill, Megan Lovett as Vine-Essa, Jonny Schwentner as Teddy Baron, Pelle Frid as Reliable Person, and Abbey Konzen as the Fruit Vendor. This one's been a long time coming, and now that things are less stressful, production can move a little faster. We have a Patreon now. You can get your name read off on an episode, access bonus episodes when we start releasing them soon, and get all episodes early. We plan on doing some behind-the-scenes chats with cast members too, so look forward to that. Now, go listen to Brave New Frontiersman, or Soul Operator, or The Grotto, or Tales from the Fringes of Reality. That's like 4 suggestions. Get out of here. Harass us on Twitter at AuditoriumPod for more.